Hello everyone. It's an honor to be with you all to learn together again. We will have fun studying the following contents together. 1. To give the wonderful Dharma for all sentient beings with the heart of giving pleasure, plucking suffering and joy, over and above that Dharma of serving and offerings that Shakyamuni Buddha used to give to the Devdatta. If you study on your own, then your own feeling is getting more and more fatigued. But if you really enter into the almsgiving of the Dharma, especially when you are mixed with giving pleasure and plucking suffering, you are performing the almsgiving of the Dharma according to giving pleasure and plucking suffering. Moreover, you can make others rejoice from the heart with this Dharma, and you have taken advantage of giving pleasure and plucking suffering, joy and giving. Oh, taking advantage of one of them is a great success, let alone taking advantage of all four of them. He will definitely have a good state. Moreover, you can try in the future. If you at ordinary times have to engage yourself in learning for an hour, you will be tired, but you will not be tired if you give Dharma alms for 2 hours. When you really enter into pure Dharma alms, especially when you are getting higher and higher, and when the people who are listening are getting high with you, he can resonate, and this resonance can break all your fatigue. Even you speak there, you are exhausted dying, and you don't even know how to die. Because you do not feel how to die. The more he pays the price, the higher the arising of conditions he generates is. When the arising of conditions he generates is higher, he can really do it in the future. Once he hears it, he will understand it, and once he uses it, it will work, and he can be very fast to do it. Otherwise, it will be like Sakyamuni Buddha, who served Devdatta and worked hard all his life, but could not necessarily gain too much. Because that one is little by little, this one is the Dharma giving with giving pleasure, plucking suffering, joy and giving at one time. His old life is still there at the end, but you give your old life in exchange. You don't want all of it, the whole person is not wanted, but he still has a person left at the end. How does that of him compare with this of you? 2. What is Dharma offering, offering Dharma and Dharma giving? Offering Dharma and Dharma giving are two concepts. The Dharma giving with giving pleasure, plucking suffering, joy and giving is more superior than offering Dharma. Dharma offering is to make offerings according to the Dharma. First of all, you must have the Dharma. Offering Dharma is to make offerings to the Dharma with everything, to establish the arising of conditions of quick understanding and quick achievements. Dharma giving is to give the Buddha's teachings to achieve the purpose of making all sentient beings free from suffering and attain happiness. Related example questions. Pupil, according to your teachings, is the Dharma giving mentioned in the following paragraph Dharma giving or offering Dharma? Infinite meaning Bodhisattva said to the Buddha, World-honored one, I shall now make an offering to Guanxian Bodhisattva. Then he untied his necklace of precious pearls around his neck, its value in the hundreds of thousands of taels of gold, and gave it to the Bodhisattva, saying, Humane one, accept this Dharma giving, this necklace of precious pearls. Teacher, it's offering the Dharma with the necklace of precious jewels. I vow that all of us and all sentient beings can be eternally faithful to our fundamental teacher, to our fundamental teacher's teachings, and to the practitioners of our fundamental teacher's teachings. And can always maintain the original, pure, and untainted fundamental teacher's teachings, and always preserve the practitioners of the original, pure, and untainted fundamental teacher's teachings. I vow that all of us and all sentient beings can always hold every word spoken by mentors and Buddhas in their hands like a precious treasure, and can also truly engrave them in our hearts, and digest and absorb them perfectly, and solidify them as a capital for self-benefit and others' benefit. Thank you for your attention and great achievements so much indeed. See you next time.
Teachings of the Mentor. What does theft mean? Stealing is called not taking, which means that it is not given to you and you want to get it. Many people say, I picked up a glove on a mountain or a wallet on a road. Does it count as a theft? The Buddhist scriptures say that not taking is considered stealing. In other words, if someone didn't give it to you, if you moved, you would commit theft. If you say you picked it up on a mountain or on the street, and there are many cars on the street, and you break the window of the car, and you go in and drive away, is that theft? It's also something on the street. There are motorbikes and bicycles on the street, but if you move something on the street, is it not theft? Then people say, that's what people want. Is it theft if they don't want it, if they lose it, or if they drop it? You should know that even if it is dropped, it is his. Unless he has thrown it away, and you have moved it even though he did not give it to you, it is not a theft. This is because it is an unowned object. If someone else has thrown it away, it is called an unowned object. If it is an owner's property, then someone else must give it to you. If it is an owner's property, it is not theft. If you can't distinguish whether it is owned or unowned, you'd better not touch it, because it is dangerous. We must develop the habit of not stealing in all time and space, in all places. Not to steal means not to move when others do not give it to you. Even if it is on the street, we should not touch it, because we do not know whether it has an owner or not, and we should develop the habit of not stealing it. Even if it is starving to death or freezing to death, we must not touch it. Then people say, why do we have to be so harsh? Let's just use it for now and pay it back in the future. We must get into the habit of doing so. What is the reason? Once you have grown in power, you will always be shouting, this Taisher heaven will give me some gold, silver and jewelry, and that 4 heavenly kings will give me some money and wealth. You are always doing these things. Remember, when you steal, you want what is not in your own name. If you still think about what is in someone else's name, you are stealing and thinking about stealing. To have such thoughts and to have such actions is to be incompatible with the Dharma. Even if you have the abilities now, you can just get other people's stuff without telling them. Is it appropriate for you? You are not helping sentient beings to be free from suffering and gain happiness. You are enabling them to be free from happiness and gain suffering. Furthermore, by stealing, you are bound to incur the 10 kinds of evil fruits. Therefore, we must all do our best not to steal. Praises of the Mentor. Author, Fafu. You are that. The unquenchable sun in my heart. Show wisdom and shine with light. You are that. The spirit of self-nature. Give birth to a source of fundamental power. You are that. Arms of invisible spiritual powers. Raise others willingly and behind the scenes. I am grateful. You are more than a compassionate mother protecting the child in the womb. Protect the child in the heart. Deep care and caution. I feel. You are like a human medicine prince who saves the world. infinitely and wonderfully. Make every effort to eliminate all physical and mental suffering. I vow. Gaze at and follow your example as a precious treasure, to receive treatment and repay your kindness.
The Path Back to the Family of the Thus Come One author. Grace Series 11 to be continued when returned on campus. I did the study during the daytime and during the nights. I could listen to the sutra preaching from Reverend Yu. From that, I got to learn that I was a person with deep afflictions. All my air, face expressions, speeches and actions were not in accord with the Buddha's teachings. Nor be a qualified Buddha disciple with complete 9 mindset and 6 thoughts, not to mention to know who I am, what the Bodhi is and what the true self is. Thus, I had always been dancing with greed, hatred, ignorance and arrogance, etc., and then mixed all the evil thoughts together to give birth to doubt. I had been indulging in illusions to create evil karmas, while in mental, I desired to leave all the afflictions and its dust and weariness behind and to be a qualified disciple of Buddha. With thinking more and more in this way, I desired to approach Reverend Yu and followed her to learn Buddha teachings. Thus I contacted Reverend Yin immediately and asked for her permission to visit her in her abode. She admitted joyfully. Asking for another leave, I bought a ticket of air freight, left the university and set forth on the way to Reverend Yu in the island of Hainan. I was confident that I could arrive Reverend Yu's on my own with the address in hand, without her pickup in the airport. I felt that I was on the way back home, with such an inexpressible feeling. This time, it seemed to me that I found a way out and the brightness was approaching after seeking so many places. So many times. After checking out from Sanya Airport, I took a bus to bus station and bought a ticket to Chaksibu. I felt extremely happy with my backpack on my own way, wandering about to seek the kind mentor to learn the dharmas with a bouquet of flowers as offerings to Buddhas and Reverend Yu. When looking errand through the bus windows, I found that the coastal scenery was very beautiful and the climate here was similar to Vietnam. Driving through the prosperous coastal city, the bus was on the way to the deep valley. The clouds floating on the sky and some abodes in several remote villages were within the embrace of the mountains, just like the babies in their mothers. The sight reminded me of my hometown of Vietnam, such a close and good feeling arising. The bus driver told me, "We have arrived in Chaksibu," when I immersed in seeing the views. To be continued.
(41) Voting and decision-making. 1. Each committee member present at the meeting has a deliberative vote. 2. A question arising at the committee meeting must be decided by a majority of votes. 3. If there is no majority, the person presiding at the meeting has a casting vote in addition to a deliberative vote. Thank you.